Summer dinners in America once meant families gathering around tables filled with dishes that no restaurant serves today, and no cookbook includes anymore. These weren't trendy foods that went out of style. They were beloved staples that disappeared so quietly that most people never noticed they were gone. Here are 25 summer dinner that vanished from the family table. Tuna noodle casserole. Every American kitchen once knew the magic of combining canned tuna, egg noodles, and cream of mushroom soup into something greater than its humble parts. This casserole ruled supreme during the 1950s and 60s, when families needed hearty meals that could stretch ingredients and feed hungry mouths without breaking the bank. The dish emerged from the Great Depression era's philosophy of making do with what you had, but it found its golden age in post-war suburbia. Mothers would layer the mixture with crushed potato chips on top, creating a satisfying crunch that made children forget they were eating something economical. The beauty lay in its simplicity. No fancy techniques required, just honest ingredients transformed into comfort food that could feed a family of 6 for under $2. Chicken pot pie. Before rotisserie chickens lined grocery store shelves, families made chicken pot pie from scratch using every part of the bird. The process began on Sunday mornings when whole chickens simmered in large pots, filling homes with the rich aroma that promised something special for dinner. The resulting broth became the foundation for a thick, creamy filling studded with tender chicken, carrots, peas, and potatoes. What made these pies extraordinary wasn't just the filling. It was the homemade crust that required skill passed down from mother to daughter. Rolling out pastry dough in sweltering summer kitchens was an act of love, as mothers endured the heat to create golden brown tops that shattered at first bite. Each family guarded their secret ingredients, whether it was a dash of sage, a splash of sherry, or the perfect ratio of vegetables to meat. Beef stroganoff. Beef stroganoff arrived in American kitchens through a fascinating journey from Russian aristocracy to middle-class dinner tables. The dish represented sophistication and worldliness when exotic cuisines were rare in suburban America. Families felt elegant serving tender strips of beef in a rich, sour cream sauce over egg noodles, often reserving it for special occasions or when company came to dinner. The preparation required patience, slowly browning the beef, sautéing mushrooms until golden, and carefully combining the sour cream to prevent curdling. Many home cooks added their own touches, incorporating onion soup mix for deeper flavor or using cream of mushroom soup as a shortcut. The result was a dish that transformed everyday ingredients into something that felt luxurious, making ordinary Tuesday nights feel like celebrations. Scalloped potatoes? The art of layering thin potato slices with cream and seasonings created one of America's most beloved side dishes. Every church potluck, family reunion, and holiday table featured at least one casserole dish of golden, bubbling scalloped potatoes. The technique seemed simple, but required skill, slicing potatoes uniformly thin, creating a roux that wouldn't break, and achieving that perfect balance between tender potatoes and crispy top. Families often added their signature touches. Some included ham or bacon, others layered in cheese, and a few adventurous cooks added herbs from their gardens. The slow baking process filled homes with the comforting aroma of cream and potatoes, creating anticipation that made the wait worthwhile. What made these potatoes special wasn't complexity, but the time and care invested in their preparation. Chicken a la king. Chicken a la king represented the height of 1950s, entertaining elegance, transforming leftover chicken into a creamy, sophisticated dish that impressed guests and satisfied families. The dish typically featured chunks of tender chicken, colorful bell peppers, and pimientos suspended in a rich cream sauce that was spooned over toast points, rice, or biscuits. Its origins traced back to fancy hotel restaurants, but home cooks adapted it for their own kitchens, making it accessible while maintaining its air of refinement. The key to perfect chicken a la king lay in the sauce, a careful balance of chicken stock, cream, and seasonings that coated each ingredient without overwhelming the delicate flavors. Many families served it for Sunday dinners or when entertaining, as it could be prepared ahead and kept warm, allowing hosts to spend time with their guests rather than slaving over the stove. Pineapple glazed ham. Summer entertaining reached its peak with a beautiful pineapple glazed ham as the centerpiece, its glossy surface decorated with pineapple rings and maraschino cherries secured with toothpicks. This dish represented abundance and celebration, often reserved for holidays, graduations, and special family gatherings. The preparation began hours before serving, as the ham slowly baked while being basted with a mixture of pineapple juice, brown sugar, and sometimes bourbon or cola. The sweet and salty combination created a caramelized exterior that contrasted beautifully with the tender, smoky meat inside. Families often competed to create the most beautiful presentation, arranging the pineapple rings in perfect patterns and ensuring each cherry was positioned just right. The result was both a feast for the eyes and a memorable meal that brought families together around tables filled with laughter and stories. Chicken Divan. Chicken Divan emerged from the elegant Divan Parisian restaurant but found its true home in American casserole dishes, combining chicken and broccoli in a sophisticated cream sauce that elevated everyday ingredients. The dish represented the 1950s fascination with combining convenience foods with fresh ingredients to create something that felt both modern and traditional. Tender chicken breasts were layered over bright green broccoli spears, then covered with a rich sauce made from cream of chicken soup, mayonnaise, and curry powder. An exotic touch that made families feel cosmopolitan. A generous sprinkling of cheese and breadcrumbs created a golden top that cracked to reveal the creamy layers beneath. What made Chicken Divan special was its ability to transform a simple combination of ingredients into something that felt like fine dining, proving that sophistication didn't require complicated techniques. Salmon patties. Friday nights often meant salmon patties, born from canned salmon, breadcrumbs, and eggs, then pan-fried until golden and crispy. These patties represented resourcefulness at its finest, transforming affordable canned fish into a protein-rich meal that satisfied growing families. The key to perfect salmon patties lay in the balance, enough binding ingredients to hold them together without overwhelming the salmon's distinctive flavor. Many families had secret techniques. Some added finely diced onions for extra flavor. Others incorporated a touch of lemon juice to brighten the taste, and a few mixed in mashed potatoes for added substance. The patties were typically served alongside mashed potatoes and green vegetables, creating a complete meal that cost pennies per serving. Despite their humble origins, these patties were beloved comfort food, representing the ingenuity of home cooks who could create something delicious from simple pantry staples. Corn chowder. Summer corn chowder captured the essence of the season in a bowl, combining fresh corn kernels with potatoes, onions, and cream to create a soup that was both rustic and refined. The best chowders began with corn on the cob, where kernels were carefully cut away, and the cobs were simmered to extract every bit of sweet corn flavor. This corn-infused stock became the foundation for a soup that tasted like summer itself. The preparation required patience, slowly cooking onions until translucent, adding potatoes to simmer until tender, and carefully incorporating cream without letting it curdle. Many families added bacon for smokiness or herbs from their gardens for freshness. The result was a soup that celebrated the season's abundance while providing comfort on cooler summer evenings when families gathered on porches and around kitchen tables. Pasta primavera. Pasta primavera brought Italian-inspired elegance to American dinner tables, celebrating summer's bounty with a colorful array of fresh vegetables tossed with pasta in a light cream sauce. The dish represented the 1970s trend toward lighter, more vegetable-forward cooking while maintaining the comfort food appeal that American families craved. The beauty of pasta primavera lay in its flexibility. Home cooks could use whatever vegetables were fresh and available, from zucchini and bell peppers to broccoli and cherry tomatoes. The key was timing each vegetable's cooking to maintain perfect texture and vibrant color. The sauce was typically light, allowing the vegetables' natural flavors to shine while providing just enough richness to bring the dish together. This combination of healthfulness and indulgence made pasta primavera feel both virtuous and satisfying, perfect for summer dinners when families wanted something substantial but not heavy. Lemon icebox pie. Before refrigeration became universal, icebox pies represented the height of summer dessert sophistication, requiring careful planning and the luxury of cold storage. Lemon icebox pie perfectly captured summer's bright flavors in a cool, creamy dessert that provided relief from sweltering heat. The filling combined tart lemon juice with sweetened condensed milk and eggs, creating a custard-like texture that set without baking. The graham cracker crust added textural contrast and complemented the lemon's brightness with subtle sweetness. What made these pies special was their make-ahead nature. They actually improved after sitting overnight, allowing flavors to meld and the texture to achieve perfect consistency. Families often served them at Sunday dinners or special occasions, proud to offer guests something that required both skill and advanced planning. The first bite delivered an explosion of lemony freshness that epitomized summer's best flavors. Porcupine meatballs. Porcupine meatballs earned their whimsical name from the rice that poked out during cooking, creating a texture that resembled quills on the beloved animal. This economical dish stretched ground beef by incorporating uncooked rice directly into the meatball mixture, where it absorbed flavors while cooking and added bulk to feed larger families. The meatballs were typically simmered in tomato sauce, creating a complete meal that required only one pot and minimal supervision. The beauty of this dish lay in its simplicity and kid-friendly appeal. Children were fascinated by the rice, quills, and parents appreciated the economical protein that pleased even picky eaters. Many families added their own touches, incorporating different seasonings or vegetables into the sauce. The slow simmering process filled homes with comforting aromas that promised a satisfying meal, making porcupine meatballs a beloved weeknight staple across America. Macaroni and tomatoes. Long before boxed macaroni and cheese dominated children's menus, families served macaroni and tomatoes, a simple, satisfying dish that celebrated summer's tomato harvest. The dish combined cooked elbow macaroni with stewed tomatoes, often enhanced with onions, peppers, and seasonings that varied by family tradition. Some versions included a touch of sugar to balance the tomato's acidity, while others added herbs or bacon for extra flavor. The result was comfort food at its most basic. Ingredients that cost very little but provided substantial nutrition and satisfaction. Many families served this as a side dish alongside fried chicken or pork chops, while others made it the main course with the addition of ground beef or sausage. The dish represented the American ability to create something delicious from pantry staples, proving that good food didn't require expensive ingredients or complicated techniques. Beans and franks. Saturday night often meant beans and franks, a hearty combination that satisfied hungry families while requiring minimal preparation and cost. The dish typically featured canned baked beans enhanced with sliced hot dogs, then baked until the flavors melded and the top developed a slight caramelization. Many families had their own secret additions, some stirred in brown sugar and mustard for deeper flavor. Others added onions or bell peppers for texture and nutrition. The slow baking process allowed the hot dogs to release their flavor into the beans while developing slightly crispy edges that added textural interest. This dish represented the practical side of American cooking, where convenience foods were enhanced with homemade touches to create something greater than the sum of its parts. Despite its humble nature, beans and franks were beloved comfort food that brought families together around the dinner table. Zucchini slice. Summer gardens overflowing with zucchini inspired creative home cooks to develop recipes that used this prolific vegetable, leading to the creation of zucchini slice, a savory casserole that transformed excess produce into family-friendly meals. The dish combined grated zucchini with eggs, cheese, and flour to create something between a quiche and a frittata, often enhanced with herbs, onions, or bacon. The beauty of zucchini slice lay in its versatility. It could be served hot or cold, cut into squares for lunch or sliced for dinner, and customized with whatever ingredients families had on hand. The preparation helped use up garden surplus while creating a nutritious meal that even children would eat, disguising vegetables in a format that felt like comfort food. Many families served it with salad for light summer dinners or packed it for picnics, where its portable nature made it perfect for outdoor dining. Texas toast. Texas toast elevated simple bread into something special, creating thick slices that were buttered, seasoned, and toasted until golden and crispy on the outside while remaining soft inside. The bread's generous thickness allowed it to absorb butter and seasonings without becoming soggy, creating a side dish that could hold its own alongside robust main courses. The key to perfect Texas toast lay in the butter mixture. Many families added garlic powder, herbs, or even Parmesan cheese to create signature flavors. The toasting process required attention to achieve the perfect balance between crispy exterior and tender interior. What made Texas toast memorable wasn't complexity, but the satisfaction of biting through the crispy surface to reach the buttery, soft center. This humble side dish represented the American talent for taking simple ingredients and elevating them through technique and care into something that felt indulgent and special. Cinnamon baked apples. Cinnamon baked apples represented the perfect ending to summer meals, combining seasonal fruit with warm spices to create a dessert that felt both homey and elegant. The preparation began with selecting the right apples, varieties that would hold their shape while becoming tender during baking. The apples were cored and filled with a mixture of butter, brown sugar, and cinnamon, then baked until the filling caramelized and the apple flesh became sweet and tender. Many families had signature additions. Some included chopped nuts or raisins in the filling. Others drizzled the apples with cream or served them with vanilla ice cream. The slow baking process filled homes with the comforting aroma of cinnamon and caramelized sugar, creating anticipation for the warm, sweet treat to come. These simple desserts represented the best of home cooking, transforming basic ingredients into something that felt like a special occasion. Pork chop suey. Pork chop suey brought Asian-inspired flavors to American dinner tables, representing families' desire to explore exotic cuisines while working with familiar ingredients. The dish combined tender pork with crisp vegetables in a savory sauce, often served over rice to create a complete meal that felt both adventurous and satisfying. The beauty of chop suey lay in its adaptability. Home cooks could use whatever vegetables were available, from bean sprouts and water chestnuts to celery and onions. The cooking technique required high heat and quick timing to maintain the vegetables' crisp texture while ensuring the pork was perfectly cooked. Many families made their own versions of the sauce, combining soy sauce, cornstarch, and seasonings to create something that approximated restaurant flavors. This dish represented America's growing culinary curiosity and the ability of home cooks to adapt international flavors to their own kitchens and family preferences. Tuna melts. Open-faced tuna melts represented the perfect balance between sandwich and hot meal, combining flaky tuna salad with melted cheese on toasted bread for a satisfying dinner that felt both casual and special. These weren't just quick lunches. Families served them as legitimate dinner fare, often accompanied by potato chips and pickle spears. The key to a perfect tuna melt lay in the tuna salad mixture, where families added their secret ingredients like diced celery for crunch, sweet pickle relish for tang, or a touch of curry powder for sophistication. The cheese, usually sharp cheddar or Swiss, was carefully arranged to cover every bit of tuna before being broiled until golden and bubbly. What made tuna melts memorable was their comfort food appeal combined with the satisfaction of melted cheese and warm bread, creating a meal that pleased both children and adults while requiring minimal preparation time. Hamburger helper. Before Hamburger Helper became a boxed convenience food, families created their own versions by combining ground beef with pasta, rice, or potatoes in one-pot meals that stretched expensive meat to feed large families. These homemade helpers were born from necessity during tough economic times when a pound of ground beef needed to satisfy 6 or 8 people. The beauty of these dishes lay in their infinite variety. Some families created cheeseburger and rice combinations, others made beef and noodle skillets, and many developed their own signature seasonings and techniques. The cooking process was simple, but required timing to ensure the starch cooked properly while the beef remained tender. These meals represented the ingenuity of American home cooks who could transform basic ingredients into satisfying dinners that brought families together around the table, proving that good food didn't require expensive ingredients or complicated recipes. Johnny Marzetti. Johnny Marzetti became a Midwest favorite that combined ground beef, egg noodles, and cheese in a casserole that fed large families while using affordable ingredients to create something satisfying and delicious. Named after a Columbus, Ohio restaurant owner, the dish represented regional American cooking at its finest, taking simple ingredients and combining them into something greater than the sum of their parts. The preparation layered cooked ground beef with vegetables, egg noodles, and cheese sauce, then baked until bubbly and golden. Many families added their own variations, incorporating different vegetables, cheeses, or seasonings that reflected local preferences and available ingredients. The result was comfort food that could feed a crowd, be prepared ahead of time, and pleased both adults and children. This dish demonstrated how regional specialties could spread beyond their origins to become beloved family favorites that brought people together around dinner tables across America. Goulash. American goulash bore little resemblance to its Hungarian namesake, but became a beloved one-pot meal that combined ground beef, elbow macaroni, and tomatoes into a hearty dinner that pleased entire families. This dish represented the American talent for taking international names and creating something entirely new that suited local tastes and available ingredients. The preparation was straightforward: brown ground beef, add onions and seasonings, stir in cooked macaroni and tomatoes, then simmer until flavors melded. Many families customized their goulash with personal touches like bell peppers for crunch, cheese for richness, or various spices for heat. The result was comfort food at its finest, a meal that could be prepared in one pot, fed a crowd, and used up whatever vegetables needed to be consumed. The dish's appeal lay in its simplicity and flexibility, allowing families to create satisfying dinners without following complicated recipes or expensive ingredients. Liver and onions. Liver and onions represented a time when families embraced organ meats as both economical protein sources and nutritional powerhouses, despite their challenging flavors and textures. The dish required skill to prepare properly. Liver needed careful cooking to avoid toughness, while onions required patience to achieve perfect caramelization. Many home cooks soaked liver in milk before cooking to reduce its strong flavor, then dredged it in seasoned flour before pan-frying until just cooked through. The onions were slowly cooked until golden and sweet, providing a perfect counterpoint to the liver's intense flavor. What made this dish successful was the balance between the two main components: properly cooked liver that remained tender and sweet onions that complemented rather than competed. While liver and onions never achieved universal popularity, families who enjoyed it considered it a special treat that provided important nutrition while challenging diners to appreciate more complex flavors than typical American fare. Stuffed bell peppers. Stuffed bell peppers transformed humble vegetables into elegant main courses, filling colorful pepper shells with mixtures of ground meat, rice, and seasonings that created complete meals in individual servings. The preparation began with selecting perfect peppers, large enough to hold substantial filling, but not so big that they wouldn't cook evenly. The filling typically combined ground beef or pork with cooked rice, onions, and tomatoes, seasoned with herbs and spices that reflected family preferences. Some cooks added cheese for richness, others included vegetables for nutrition, and many developed signature seasonings that made their stuffed peppers distinctive. The cooking process required patience, as peppers needed to become tender while fillings heated through and flavors melded. What made stuffed peppers special was their presentation. Each diner received their own colorful serving that looked as good as it tasted, making ordinary ingredients feel like special occasion food. Welsh Rarebit. Welsh Rarebit elevated simple cheese sauce into an elegant dish that transformed ordinary toast into something that felt like fine dining, despite using basic ingredients available in most American kitchens. The dish required skill to create a smooth, flavorful cheese sauce without curdling or becoming grainy, a technique that separated experienced cooks from beginners. The traditional preparation combined aged cheddar cheese with beer, mustard, and seasonings, creating a complex flavor that was both sophisticated and comforting. Many American families adapted the recipe, using available cheeses and substituting milk or cream for beer when serving children. The sauce was carefully poured over toast points and often broiled briefly to create a golden top. What made Welsh Rarebit special was its ability to transform simple ingredients into something that felt luxurious and special, proving that elegance didn't require expensive or exotic ingredients, just skill and attention to detail. Conclusion. As we close this journey through America's forgotten summer dinners, we're reminded that these dishes were more than just recipes. They were the threads that wove families together, the traditions that marked the passage of seasons, and the expressions of love that filled homes with warmth and satisfaction. Each meal tells a story of resourcefulness, creativity, and the deep human need to nourish those we care about. These forgotten flavors may have disappeared from our tables, but they remain in our collective memory as reminders of a time when cooking was an art passed down through generations, when families gathered regularly around dinner tables, and when the simple act of sharing a meal was one of life's greatest pleasures. In rediscovering these lost recipes, we reconnect with the wisdom of previous generations and perhaps find inspiration to create our own food traditions that will warm hearts and feed souls for years to come. Egg cream. Once you get over the surprise that this drink has no egg or cream, you'll discover a real New York classic. This fizzy delight, known as an egg cream, combines cold milk, sparkling seltzer, and rich chocolate syrup in a tall glass. When made right, it's topped with a frothy, bubble-like foam, almost as if you've been blowing bubbles into chocolate milk with a straw. The egg cream is believed to have been invented in early 20th century Brooklyn by Louis Oster, a Jewish candy store owner. Legend has it that his shop sold up to 3,000 glasses a day, but he took his secret recipe to the grave. Picture enjoying this refreshing treat on a hot summer day, and you'll see why it's worth reviving. It's such a nostalgic, sweet pleasure. Now let's dive into our next forgotten summer food, crescent rings. Crescent rings were a fun twist on crescent rolls. Shaped into a circle and filled with cream cheese, fruit preserves, ham cheese, or pizza toppings, they were popular at 70s potlucks and picnics. They impressed guests with their simplicity and versatility, but gradually faded as new food trends emerged. Tang pie. How about we give tang pie a comeback alongside perfection salad? You might remember Tang. It's the iconic orange drink that even NASA used on their space missions. To make tang pie, just mix tang powder with sweetened condensed milk and whip topping until smooth. Pour this creamy orange filling into a graham cracker crust and chill until set. The result? A bright, tangy pie that's both refreshing and nostalgic. Tang pie was a 1970s favorite, thanks to Tang's popularity as a household staple. Its cheerful orange color and zesty flavor made it a picnic standout. This easy no-bake pie has been passed down through community cookbooks and family recipe cards since the 1960s, leaving a lasting impression on everyone who tasted it. 7-layer salad. 7-layer salad gained popularity in the 1960s and 1970s, becoming a staple at potlucks and family gatherings. The salad is known for its appealing layers of ingredients like lettuce, tomatoes, peas, cheese, and bacon, all topped with a creamy dressing. It was appreciated for its visual appeal and ease of preparation. Over time, however, food trends shifted towards lighter and simpler options, leading to a decline in the salad's popularity. Today, it serves as a nostalgic reminder of past dining trends and communal meals. Sloppy Joes. Sloppy Joes were a beloved dish from the 1950s to the 1980s, enjoyed both at home and in schools across America. This easy-to-make meal featured ground beef simmered in a flavorful tomato sauce with a touch of sweetness. To whip up this classic, you needed ground beef, onions, ketchup, Worcestershire sauce, brown sugar, and spices. These ingredients combined in a pan, simmering until they melded into a savory, sweet delight. The mixture was then piled onto soft hamburger buns, creating a messy yet delightful sandwich. Today, Sloppy Joes remain a popular comfort food, often enhanced with variations like peppers or additional seasonings. While some may prefer ready-made mixes, the homemade version still reigns supreme for those seeking the authentic taste of homemade comfort food from the past. As the aroma of Sloppy Joes filled kitchens across America, Lobster Thermidor. Lobster Thermidor, originally from France and popular in mid-20th century America, was a symbol of luxury dining from the 1950s to the 1980s. It was known for being served in fancy restaurants and at exclusive events, reflecting a sophisticated lifestyle. The dish involved boiling the lobster, then carefully mixing its meat with a sauce made of cream, egg yolks, mustard, and cognac. This mixture was placed back into the lobster shell and broiled. The creamy sauce, flavored with cognac and mustard, added richness to the tender lobster. Over time, Lobster Thermidor's popularity declined, partly due to changing tastes favoring lighter, healthier foods, and its elaborate preparation being less practical for everyday meals. Rumaki. Take a journey into the exotic with rumaki, a dish that surprises with its unique blend of water chestnuts and chicken liver wrapped in bacon. Introduced in American tiki bars during the 1950s, it brought a taste of Polynesia to cocktail parties. The chicken liver and water chestnuts soak up flavors of soy sauce and ginger before being wrapped in bacon and baked to a crisp. This appetizer is a real conversation starter, known for its bold flavors and interesting textures. It's often served on skewers or fancy toothpicks, making it easy to grab and enjoy. Rumaki quickly became a star at gatherings, adding a touch of excitement to appetizer spreads and sparking lively conversations among guests. Quiche Lorraine. Quiche Lorraine is like a savory ode from France's Lorraine region. Made with a harmonious blend of eggs, cream, and smoked bacon nestled in a flaky pastry crust. It tells a tale of culinary evolution, evolving from humble medieval roots to a beloved brunch staple. Each bite offers a crispy pastry, yielding to a velvety filling where the bacon's smokiness meets the custard's richness. Versatile and impressive, Quiche Lorraine shines at gatherings whether served hot or cold. It gained popularity in the U.S. during the 1950s as American cooks explored international flavors. Known for its perfect balance of flavors and textures, it graces cafe menus and family tables, often paired with a simple salad to complement its decadence. Seafood Newburg. Seafood Newburg invites you to savor a blend of lobster, shrimp, and scallops in a creamy, sherry-infused sauce. Created in the late 19th century, this variation of lobster Newburg embodies American seafood elegance. The delicate preparation involves gently poaching seafood in butter and sherry, then combining it with a rich sauce of cream and egg yolks. The result? A luxurious texture with creamy and briny flavors that harmonize beautifully. Seafood Newburg is often served in puff pastry shells or alongside golden toast points, a staple of fine dining that offers both visual and gastronomic delight, showcasing the bounty of the ocean in every bite. Zucchini bread. This treat offers a delicious twist on summer baking. Zucchini bread, which gained popularity in the 1970s, uses grated zucchini to add moisture and a subtle flavor. You mix flour, sugar, grated zucchini, eggs, oil, and a dash of cinnamon and nutmeg, then bake it until golden brown, and a toothpick comes out clean. Originating during World War II, when families were encouraged to grow their own food, zucchini bread became a favorite way to use up summer's abundant zucchini harvest. It's simple to make and perfect with a smear of butter or even some nuts or raisins mixed in for extra texture. It's surprising how such an easy recipe fell out of favor, don't you think? Liverwurst spread. Liverwurst spread, a popular food in the 1970s, is a smooth, seasoned spread made from liver and various spices. It gained popularity as a convenient and flavorful option for sandwiches and snacks. Its origins trace back to European traditions, where liverwurst was commonly enjoyed in various forms. In the 1970s, liverwurst spread was a staple in many households, appreciated for its rich flavor and versatility. It was often served on crackers or bread, and was a favorite at parties and gatherings. Its appeal lay in its ability to provide a hearty and satisfying snack or meal. However, by the 1980s, liverwurst spread began to fade from popularity. Changing food trends and dietary preferences shifted the spotlight away from such spreads. As people became more health-conscious and interested in fresh, less processed foods, liverwurst spread gradually fell out of favor. It was replaced by lighter, more modern options and eventually became a nostalgic memory for many. Tapioca pudding. Who knows, I might just join you with my tapioca pudding. Remember how it used to melt in your mouth? Tapioca pudding, made from tapioca pearls, milk, sugar, and eggs, offers a unique texture and comforting flavor. With its roots tracing back to South America, tapioca pudding became a popular dessert by the 1970s. It's amusing to see it now referred to as old people's food, but let's be honest, old people's food is often the best. So why not bring this classic treat back and enjoy its nostalgic charm? Liver and onions. Liver and onions was a common and nutritious dish in American diets in the past, prized for its high iron content and vitamin richness. Typically, thin slices of liver were pan-fried with onions, sometimes accompanied by bacon or other seasonings. It was often served alongside mashed potatoes or vegetables, creating a hearty and fulfilling meal. During an era when nutrition awareness was growing, liver was valued for its health benefits. However, its popularity has waned in recent decades due to changing tastes and dietary preferences. Many people now prefer lighter meals or have developed aversions to the strong flavor of liver. Concerns about cholesterol and saturated fats have also led to decreased consumption of organ meats like liver in balanced diets. While liver and onions may have faded from popularity, the classic appeal of beef stroganoff continues to entice with its timeless flavors and comforting appeal. Chicken marbella. Chicken marbella is a dish that epitomizes the culinary creativity of the 1980s, emerging from the Silver Palette cookbook by Julie Russo and Sheila Lukens. This recipe combines sweet prunes, tangy capers, olives, and a generous splash of white wine, blending sweet and savory flavors in a memorable way. Garnished with parsley, it not only tastes delicious but also presents beautifully on a plate, making it perfect for dinner parties. One of its appeals is its make-ahead nature. You can marinate it overnight and simply bake it before serving, making entertaining effortless. With its exotic Mediterranean ingredients, chicken marbella brought a taste of the Mediterranean to American tables, aligning perfectly with the decades' love for bold, worldly flavors. It quickly became a fashionable choice for gatherings, reflecting the trend for sophisticated yet easy-to-prepare dishes. Thanks for joining us on this tasty trip down memory lane. Did any of these forgotten summer foods bring back a special memory for you? Drop a comment and let us know which one you remember most. Don't forget to subscribe for more nostalgic bites and culinary adventures.